look for what is permanent, and nothing is eternal other than your soul. So let me stop here so we have time for questioning.
So the first question we have is that Burak, horse of Prophet, was it the Islam?
Burak.
I think you answered that already.
Yes. Do you remember we talked about that last week in Surah AZIZ? The horse symbolizes the Isme Azam. Yes.
Can you please say if you think you have experienced something special and you share it, what consequences? So I think this means what they're asking is if someone shares their experience, what are the consequences? P.S. I think what they're trying to say is sometimes they've been told not to share their experience or what they felt because people will not understand. So can you give us any information on that? Thank you.
I have no information, but I would love to share the knowledge if you like.
Yes, the knowledge is...
Okay. All right. The wisdom behind this farman of Mola Baba is that because if you share, there are danger that you will become vain. You will have pride. And people will look at you like, oh, you are somebody, something, because you have experienced something. It is personal between you and your Imam. Do not share your spiritual experience. Now, this is the knowledge. Let me give you the wisdom in it. Have anyone shared their spiritual knowledge with you? Yes. The entire Quran is the spiritual journey and the knowledge of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Every single Ginan is the spiritual experiences of the Pir, and all of our dais and the ilm, that those who have reached to those level, they come back and they share their spiritual knowledge with you. How? Why would they do that? The reason is because they have the izn, the amr of the Imam to do so, but you will never know what they are doing. You will never know they are sharing their spiritual experiences with you. They will use such a language and they will use such a veil, curtain, parda, that you will never know that they are sharing their spiritual knowledge with you, because they have the amr and the izn of the Imam. But for others, try and do not, as per Imam's Farman, share your spiritual experience with others. And second question was, what are the consequences? You will lose your spiritual journey, because you have just used your saving account, your spiritual earning. You have nothing left to move forward. So do not. Beautiful question. Thank you for asking.
If you see Mola in your dreams, is there a message he's giving?
Yes.
And there's a second question to this as well, that if you see Hazimam in your dreams, are you seeing him in a physical format or in a Didari format? So there's two questions from two different people, but around the same concept.
Ji. So question number one, if you see the Imam in your dream, what does that symbolize? And I can answer this, and I can sit over here and talk for, I would say, at least an hour or two on this subject. But I don't think anybody wanted to stay, and I'm sure in London already it's like 8, 9 o'clock. So I'll try to stay as short as possible, okay? Imam can and do and will come in the dreams of the mu'mineen who think of him all day long because they love their Imam. So Imam blesses them with the didar in their dream. But these didar are of these so many kinds that I cannot even explain every and each kind. But number one, he takes the form and manifests himself within your soul and show you his Mubarak face, his didar. Second, he comes in your dream to tell you something. If you are a person of knowledge, if you have the true knowledge of the Imam, then he will guide you in your dream. Number three, he comes in your dream to give you symbols. And if you have the true knowledge of the Imam Zaman, then not only you will take the symbol, but you will be able to move yourself forward in your spiritual journey. And I'm going to give you one last example, and if you can see me, then it will make more sense. Let's say, and I'm just give you an example, that Imam comes in your dream without saying a single word. He just goes like this. Can you see my finger? He goes like this. And he's pointing towards the Jamaat Khana. He's pointing toward the Jamaat Khana. And that's it. That is your entire dream. That is your complete dream. And you have no good batini knowledge. Next morning you will wake up and you will say, yeah, I saw Mullah Baba. He didn't say anything to me. He was just going like this. But if you are a person who has true knowledge, कौन सा knowledge? Imam का हकीकी knowledge, then let me tell you what and how you will interpret this dream. Imam was telling you by going like this, pointing towards the Jamaat Khana. My son, my daughter, come to Jamaat Khana. This didar that you are looking right now is in Jamaat Khana in batini sense. अभी जो तुम मुझे देख रहे हो वो दीदार मैं तुमको रूहानियत के अंदर जमात खाने में दूंगा. If you are the person of the true knowledge, Imam is telling you, do the Betul Khayal अंदर, बातीन के अंदर. अपने बातीन के अंदर आओ, मैं तुमको वहां पर रूहानी दीदार दूंगा. Number 3. This is not the complete दीदार, but वहां पर complete दीदार है. कहां पर? इबादत के अंदर कंप्लीट दीदार है. डू यू सी? ये निशानियां, सिंबल्स आर फॉर दोज हु हैव हकीकी इल्म ऑफ द इमाम. बाकी सब जो है वो इस दीदार को लेंगे, इस ड्रीम को देखेंगे और उसका कुछ भी फायदा नहीं होगा. उसको हो सकता है थोड़ी देर के लिए वो हैप्पी हो जाएंगे कि मौला ने मुझे ख्वाब में आके दीदार दिया, but after 2, 3, 4, 5 days they will forget and they will not be able to benefit the way they should benefit, because Imam does not come in your dream unless he wanted to teach you something, he wanted to give you something, he wanted to show you something, he wanted to guide you. Let's come to the second question. And what was that question? About Imam?
The other bit is about the vid, like how will you see Hazrat Imam in his, like, so the question is, Ya Alim al-Altafi, in one place Maulana Sultan Muhammad Shah sallallahu alayhi said when you sit in bandagi, don't try to see my Zahiri face. Try to look at my actual face. Nur, as Aziz Sahib has previously said, we can get didar at any time. My question is, if we do didar of Imam in our dreams, and it's his Zahiri face, does that still count as didar?
Okay, I remember the question. Three answer. Imam comes in your dream. It cannot be physical because your dream is not physical. Can it be? Because your dream is not physical, right? So Imam comes in your dream taking a hijab, meaning he manifests within your soul and gives you a didar. That is the lowest form of the didar. क्योंकि दीदार के भी फॉर्म होते हैं, stages होते हैं. That is the first stage and the lower form. Second, when Imam give you the higher form of the didar, the second form, in the morning, even within your dream, you will feel that happiness that Imam always talks about. That this happiness which will touch your heart and which will remain with you for the rest of your life. If you feel that way, and if that happiness lasts with you, that is the second stage of didar. There is a third stage of didar. And believe me, if you have this third level of didar, you will know it. You will know it. There will be no doubt in your mind, in your heart. And that's the highest form of didar. In that didar, there will be the qalb salim. Your heart will be most satisfied. And each time you close your eyes again, you will have the didar. You will close your eyes again, you will have the didar. You close your eyes again, you will have the didar. Because the didar is embossed on your heart. आपके दिल के ऊपर वो चिपक जाएगा. ये परमानेंट दीदार है जो मौला देंगे, and that is on the third level. So there are levels of the didar, and I'm so happy to see that our friends are asking great questions, because this will help us understand where we stand when it comes to our soul, our ibadat, and our isme azam. Thank you.
When you say clean your heart, does that mean the physical heart or the conscious or the mind?
All three. Physical heart is just an organ which supplies the blood to our body and mind. How would you clean your physical heart? In the Quran, the word qalb, the word heart, is used for your mind. Did you know that? In Quran, the word heart, the qalb, is used for your mind. Clean your thoughts, clean your concepts, clean your understanding. Have a clear understanding of your tariqah. That is the cleaning of the heart. Kapda dhoye so kya hua, dil dhoye so paave. It's not about the physical, but about the spiritual concept. First stage is to clean your concepts, understanding. Second stage, clean your thoughts. Third stage, have a pure understanding of your tariqah and the imam. Thank you. Good question.
What are the steps in transforming our basic meaning of Isme Azam to a higher understanding of its progressivity, because as of now we are reciting the ball speedily but cannot concentrate. So
okay, I think I understand the question.
Meaning with the concentration.
G. Okay. Remember the journey of the soul. The journey of the Ismi Azam starts during daytime. And that starts when? When you wake up in the morning. It's a practice, a daily practice, a day-long practice. It's not a 1 hour practice, but a day-long journey. If you start when you wake up in the morning with shukr guzari, with sajda, with a niyat, and start in the morning to remember Mawla. During the day, remember Mawla. Take 5-10 minutes during the day and practice your Ismi Azam. And then in the evening, before dua and after dua, if you are serious and you are not involved in worldly masti, in socializing and wasting your time in other things. I'm not saying to become a Sufi or anything. I'm saying if you are the person on the journey, let's say you have to go to a moon, what would you be doing? You will be practicing how to go to moon. Have you practiced how to get to the Ismi Azam on the journey of Miraj? We forget that we wanted to be one with Imam and we involve in worldly things unnecessary. Keyword is unnecessary. We still have to work. We still have a family to take care. But after that, don't waste your time in unnecessary worldly matters. Remember, try it for 7 days. And I have received, I don't know, I cannot even tell you how many calls and texts in last month and a half from London, from this group, and have said, we have succeeded, we are hardly getting disturbed in our ibadat anymore. And they will tell me, I would ask them, how long did it take you? One person had said 6 days. He said, I had the niyat of 7 days, but it didn't even take me 7 days, 6 days. Others have said other numbers. But all the people, and I'm talking about many, many people, and one thing in common amongst all of them was that we are following the prescription. There were 2 prescriptions. One, start in the morning. It's a day-long journey. Second, the speed of the Ismi Azam. I believe this gentleman just said, I am practicing the speed, but I did not hear, is he taking the full journey? Take the full journey. I have not met a single person who has failed. I have not met a single person who has failed. That tells you something. That tells you something. G.
Oh, sorry, Shirazam Kumarful.
Yeah.
Ya Ali Madad.
Shall I go on?
G.
Yes, please.
Yeah. Aziz Bhai Ali Madad.
Mawla Ali Madad.
Today you gave us a very good lecture and we learned a lot of things. Just to complete our knowledge book, is there any chance you can tell us when Rasulullah went on that Miraj to the 7th heaven? Whom did he see in the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th? For our knowledge. And then I have a next question on that basis.
Okay. So, our Peers and Dais have alluded to us that the first heaven is the heaven of the Adam. Second heaven is the heaven of Hazrat Nuh alayhi salam. The third heaven is the heaven of Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam. The fourth heaven is the heaven of Hazrat Musa alayhi salam. The fifth heaven is the heaven of Hazrat Isa alayhi salam, and the sixth heaven is the heaven of the Prophet Muhammad and Mawla Ali. That's why he said, "Oh my brother, did you reach over here before me?" Because he was talking about his own time. And the seventh heaven, there is one more which I cannot tell you.
Okay.
Do I not know? Yes, I do know. But I cannot tell you because that is the secret of the Imam which must be kept until we move to the next journey. Ji.
And pertaining to the sixth heaven, was that Ali who got married to his daughter Fatima and the father of Hassan and Hussein, right?
No. When we say Ali and Zaman, we are talking about the Nur of the Imam.
So it wasn't the same Ali that was our...
It could be, right? Because if you say Ali and Murtaza in limit, don't limit Ali and Murtaza in one single body. Ali is Zaman, Ali of all the time. Ali from the time of Adam to Ali of the time of Khatam. He was that Ali, the Nur e Zaman. Ji.
Okay, thank you. And the question somebody asked about what is the consequences if we relive what we saw in Baitul Khiyal, that Pir has also said that no wala mirani baat kene agar na kahiye.
Ji.
You don't have to tell anybody.
Yeah, but look at what Pir is doing. He's saying, don't talk about the batin, but that's exactly what they are doing. They are telling us their batin, but in such a way that if you don't have that eye to see what he is saying, you will never know that he's talking about his batin, because they have such a vocabulary. Ji.
Thank you, sir. Very nicely explained. Appreciate it. Thank you. Ya Ali Madad.
Ya Ali Madad.
I have a question based on earlier you had put the references from Surah Al-Marj, and specifically in Ayat 3 where it talks about the Lord of the ways of ascent. So Al-Ma'arij being the plural of Miraj. So why plural? Why is it multiple ways of Miraj?
Ji, very beautiful question. Okay. तो मेराज के भी सीढ़ियां हैं, सीढ़ी नहीं, सीढ़ियां, not stair but stairs. If you remember that clock again, we had talked about those three different ways to reach. You can take the 6 around to the 12, first letter. Second, from 6 to 3, then 2, 1 and 12, second. Third was what? From 6 to 3 and 3 to 12. What was the fourth one? From 6 to 12, all the way up. He is the Lord of the stairs, pathway. This is one answer. Second answer. You can take the help of the Hudud-e-Din. What does Hudud-e-Din in English? Hierarchy of the religion. You can also take those steps to get to the final destination. Some of you will know and may know the hierarchy of the religion, Hudud-e-Din, these steps. You can put your first step, your first foot, if you are a mustajib, on the mazun. You can take your second step, mazun e mutallaq, your third step, da'i, fourth step, da'i e mutallaq, fifth, hujjat, hujjat e azam, imam, asaz, natik, nafsikul, aklekul. They are the miraj, they are the pathways, they are the steps toward the Nur-e-Ilahi. Do you see that? There are so many different. steps. That's why it's called the Lord of the pathways or stairs. Very good catch, good question. Thank you, Kial.
Thank you.
Yes, Yalimadad, sir. Yeah. So, sir, I'm just thinking this little bit a lot when Imam says in his Baitul Farman that this happiness will be with you forever. So I'm trying to think, what is this happiness which will be with forever? And sometimes I try to compare with the worldly happiness, but then I try not to because the worldly happiness is temporary. So when Imam says this will be with forever, this happiness, so I'm trying hard to what is this happiness Imam is talking about? Is it something like, the eternal life that he's talking about, like you will be living in the Imam forever. So what is this happiness?
Gee, very good question. I believe we talked about this when we were talking about the didar in our dream. So there are three kinds of didar. Initial didar, didar on the second level, and then the highest didar on the third level. When a mu'min have that third level of didar, this didar will stay with him or her for rest of her life in this world and rest of her life in the journey for 50,000 years. This is called Qalb Salim, this complete satisfaction, complete happiness of the heart, the didar and the happiness which will never leave you. So what Imam is giving us du'ashish for? He said, I want you to have such a happiness, the didar on the third level, that you will never ever lose that happiness. That reminds me of one farman of Sultan Muhammad Shah, may our soul be sacrificed to the Imam, says, एक मोमिन खुशी में होता है क्योंकि वो रूहानी मस्ती में होता है. ये रूहानी मस्ती is the masti of the didar. Once you have the didar, nothing can bother you. There is no worldly pain and suffering can take that happiness away from you. Because at that level, you are in ruhani masti. Does this answer your question, Kamre Sahib? Any other question?
How does one stop from judging others about their roji and they should not have what they have? So I think somebody is asking about judgment or having hasad, I'm thinking.
Yeah, unfortunately, and we are all part of this. I cannot leave anyone or myself out of it. Unfortunately, we all do that, we judge people, and we should not do that. And I am the first one to admit that. We should not judge others because we are not Imam, we are not Khuda. It's only Him who can judge others. But sometimes we have that feeling when someone hurts you, you feel that why is this person doing this? This person must be a bad person, and we judge them. But if you are a good person and if you have done that, ask for forgiveness. Ask for forgiveness. Because we are human, we make mistake, but you are a better human if you ask for forgiveness. Because we are human, we may and we will do things that we should not do. But it does not stop us from being a good person. When you hurt someone, ask for forgiveness. Ask for forgiveness. When you judge someone, ask for forgiveness. Why does people judge others? Because two reasons. One, that they think they are better than the others, which is already a bad thing. Second, because they are hurting them, so they are judging them. So either way, regardless of which method, which path you have taken to get to that point, be a bigger person, be a bigger human, better mu'min. Ask for forgiveness. We will make mistakes, but as soon as we realize, and I hope sooner than later, realize and ask for forgiveness. G.
The second question was from the lady who asked was, so this journey with the Burak, is it from the heart, which I think you mentioned, or is it some sort, if you can just explain it a bit better. The lady was asking me on the phone if it's from the heart or does she feel something physical?
Okay. So first I like to say, and I'm going to repeat this in Gujarati, Urdu and English. I want to make sure everybody understands this. As long as our mind is stuck on the horse and Burak, we will not go anywhere. જ્યાં તક આપણા દિમાગ છે ને ઘોડાના અંદર પડ્યા છે ને આપણે આગળ નથી વધી सकता. जब तक हमारा ख्याल घोड़े के अंदर फंसा हुआ है हम आगे नहीं चल सकते हैं. Horse was the example. इसमें आज़म. So let me correct the question. Was this journey of the इसमें आज़म? क्या जी આપણે ગયા હતા મેરાજમાં આ इसमें आज़म સાથે ગયા હતા? That is a good question. Yes, it is the batini journey from ibadat with इसमें आज़म. इसमें आज़म is that flying इसमें आज़म which will fly us to the mirage. ये इसमें आज़म के साथ जर्नी है. आज ही जर्नी હતી મેરાજની એ આપણા इसमें आज़म સાથે હતી જે આપણને ઉડાડી ને મેરાજ તક લઈ ગઈ. જી.
The Ali that we talked about, so a physical Ali, which is the Prophet's son-in-law, but obviously I'm guessing when you're talking about the sixth heaven, that is the spiritual or manifestation of this universal soul. Is that correct?
Yes, Ji. So those of you who can read Urdu, Persian, there is a book called Kokabe Duri. Kokabe Duri. In chapter 2, where this one is written, that Allah had taken the copy, the manifestation, the tajalli. The word you're looking for is tajalli, in English, manifestation, of Mola Ali's face. Mola Ali के चेहरे की एक कॉपी बनाई और फरिश्तों के दीदार के लिए उस थ्रोन के ऊपर रखा. This word tajalli, the manifestation, shows us that we are not talking about a physical Ali Murtaza, but it could be, but the Noor of Ali Murtaza. The Noor, the copy of the Ali Murtaza, was at the sixth heaven. But if someone wants to think the copy of the physical Ali Murtaza, there is nothing wrong with that. If somebody wanted to think of Mola Bapa, there is nothing wrong with that. Because at the highest level, we are talking about the manifestation of the Imam, the Noor of the Imam. Does this answer your question? I hope you understand now. Ji.
Yali Madad Bhai, Aziz Bhai.
Yali Madad.
Happy New Year आपको. मैं आप दुआ देते हो बहुत खुश होती हो, मन के शांति होती है. शुक्र अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह. मैं क्वेश्चन करना चाहती हूँ कि जब मैं घर में होती हूँ और वॉशिंग अप ने कुछ करती हूँ ना, तो मेरे को कोई टैप करता है मेरे शोल्डर पे, और कभी वॉक करती हूँ तो आई फील देयर इज समबडी वॉक behind me walking, but even when I'm walking either on the road or shopping में, तो मैं जानना चाहती हूँ ये क्या होता है, what is it. मैं डर नहीं चाहती, I don't get scared, but I just feel that it's happening on and off sometimes, so I just want to know what that is.
जी, इसको कहते हैं कि कोई शख्स, and I'm going to reply in Urdu for those who does not understand Urdu, my apology.
मैं समझती हूँ,
हाँ, आप उर्दू समझते हैं ना? हमारे साथ हमेशा हमारा एक फरिश्ता होता है, ठीक है ना? तो कभी कभार हमारे फरिश्ता हमें ध्यान दिलाने के लिए हमें टैप करता है. तो there are people जिन्होंने बताया है कि हमारे साथ हमारा फरिश्ता है, और एक लेडी ने बताया कि उसका फरिश्ता इतना जिंदा हो गया है, इतना यानी कि उसके साथ हो गया है कि वो रोजाना सुबह को 3 बजे उसको उठाता है, और अगर वो नींद में होती है तो उसका फरिश्ता उसके लिए उसका इसमें आज़म पढ़ता है. तो आपको अंदाजा हुआ कि किस तरह से ऐसा मुमकिन हो सकता है कि चूंकि हर इंसान के साथ एक फरिश्ता है,
डिफरेंटली,
तो ये हो सकता है. जी,
अच्छा, वो जो दिन में होता है सेम थिंग होता है.
यस, बिकॉज ही इज विथ यू ऑल द टाइम, वो हमेशा आपके साथ है.
जो मैं वॉशिंग अप करती हूँ सिंक में, so I feel there's somebody tapped on my right or left.
जी,
so I know there is no one there, but I feel that शायद
जी
रूहानी होगी और शायद मौला मेरे को कुछ सिग्नल दे रहे, so I'm just like thinking.
मुझे उम्मीद है कि जब भी ऐसा होता होगा तो आप फौरन से मौला का नाम लेते होगे, अपना इसमें आज़म पढ़ते होगे, क्योंकि ये याद दहानी है आपके लिए. जी,
ओके, शुक्रिया, थैंक यू, बाय.
थैंक यू.
या
अली मदद.
Thank you so much. Farial, you want to unmute yourself?
Ya Ali Madad Aziz sir.
या अली मदद.
Sir, first of all, whenever I attend your classes, I do have to make notes, and I think my half of the notebook is already full right now.
May Mola give you more barakat and more of your books get filled with knowledge.
I mean, a lot of good knowledge, and sometimes it goes over. But when I have notes, I can go back and read.
Shukr, alhamdulillah.
Thank you. Sir, this morning, I think, I'm sorry I'm asking the question from the morning. We were talking about Laylatul Qadr, the night of Qadr, and you talked about finest Imam. You talked and you stopped at that time. After that incident, you just stopped. You said, that's it. I'm not going to talk anything more about it. But when you talked about the night of Qadr, you said it's not only one night for the Mu'min. Because the night of Qadr is for the recognition of Imam. And if I cannot recognize the Imam during this lifetime, then we stopped about talking about it. So can you please explain about the finest Imam and the Hujjat Adam you were talking about?
I will not talk about the finest Imam, as I said this morning, but I can talk about the Laylatul Qadr.
Okay.
The Laylatul Qadr is the night for you, and Laylatul Qadr for you may be different for me, and different for Altaf, and different for Khyal, and different for Salim Bhai, and different for Qasim Bhai, and different for Sebun Bhai. The day or the night in which you will feel the night is powerful enough for you to bring the didar of the Noor in your heart, that is the night of the Laylatul Qadr for you. And इसीलिए कुरान में क्या कहा, How would you know what is Laylatul Qadr? Because you don't know when that night is coming. You don't know when that night is coming. And which night will be Laylatul Qadr for you. So the night the Laylatul Qadr we assume is Laylatul Qadr is the symbolic night. But actual Laylatul Qadr is the night in which you will succeed in your ibadat. Second, the mention of Laylatul Qadr in Surah Qadr, Surah number 97, is of an Imam, which is the greatest Imam, a better Imam than 1,000 Imams, the best and the finest Imam. And I invited everyone on the line this morning to look for a farman of Mullah Baba, where he mentions the word finest Imam. And I cannot talk about it after that, because there are things that needs to be kept in a well, पर्दे के अंदर रखनी होती है, and there are things that you should unveil and give to the Jamaat. Ji.
Thank you. So one more question on the same topic then. Okay, Laylatul Qadr or Miraj? Laylatul Qadr also I'm going to get recognized. Of course I'm going to recognize my Imam is Zaman. That will be the night. So Miraj also is a recognition of Imam. So what is the difference between the two nights?
Number one, no different. Number two, a huge different. A huge different. When you recognize the Laylatul Qadr, you have come into the Salamati. Remember the 5th ayat? After that, there is no Salamati. To have the total Salamati, you must recognize the Laylatul Qadr. The Miraj is a journey. That's the difference between Laylatul Qadr and the Miraj. Miraj is a journey, ascending of the soul, the journey of the soul. Ji.
Thank you.
Yali Madad,
Mulani Madad.
you mentioned about the speed of Ism Azam. Could you please elaborate on that? Practice your ball. There's a certain speed at which you should go. And you had mentioned it, so I'm just a little confused that when you're reciting your Ism Azam, is there a certain manner in which you're supposed to recite it?
So, in our sessions, the lectures on the Ibadat and Ism Azam, we had demonstrated and we have talked about the principles or the prescriptions, we called it. That a mu'min, if we want to succeed in Ibadat, there are the speed in which they should recite their Ism Azam. And there is a minimum and you can take it up to the maximum. Minimum is 60 per minute. Yani ke 700 saas. Every second, one Ism Azam. Then there is the maximum or the highest level. If initially you should try to do at the highest level possible, which is between 100 and 120, meaning 2 Ism Azam every breathe. Har saas ke saath 2 Ism Azam. And the example is Yali 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 Yali. And you can get up to 120 or even more, but no less than 120 at that point. The reason behind that was, and I would encourage you to listen to those lectures, Altaf has those, listen to all 3 lectures and look at the small clip attached to that so you can see what we are talking about. The reason is, if you recite your Ism Azam in such a manner, in the speed, Shaitan and your thoughts will not be able to disturb you. But all this depend on your prescription. And what was the prescription? You start your ibadah 6 o'clock in the morning when you wake up, not 4 o'clock in the morning. सुबह को जब आप उठते हैं ना 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 बजे, your ibadat start with that second. And you take it all the way into your day. So ibadat is of the day, complete, not of 1 hour. So please listen to those lectures. You will benefit a great deal if you do that.
Totally a different question. I want exactly a definition of fanafila and satband.
Satband is simple, Sirat al-Mustaqim. Fanafi Allah, Fanafi Imam, Fanafi Murshid are different terms being used by our da'is and our hujjatan, peers. Fana meaning you are no more. Fanafi Imam, you are fana in Imam. But the word fana cannot be in existence unless you decide to let go of your world, of your greed for the world, of your carnal soul, जिसको हम ख्वाहिशात कहते हैं. Me, and want. If you cannot let go of these two things, you cannot be fana. But when you can, and you should, and if you would, then step by step you will become one with the Imam, which is called fana fi Imam. Even then there are darjat. Fana fi Murshid, fana fi Imam, fana fi Allah. क्या मतलब है इसका? दर्जा बर दर्जा ऊपर जाना होता है. If you are at the level 1, you need to go to level 2. If you are at the level of da'i, you need to be at the level of da'i mutallaq. If you are at the level of da'i mutallaq, you need to be at the level of hujjat. You understand? The fana is at the levels. The last example, an easy example to understand. And this is not my example. Our dais and peers have given this example for us to understand.
Okay.
A mitti, dust. The dust fana herself in the tree. A mitti cannot become a vegetation until she finishes fana herself in the tree. Then tree fana herself in the animal. If tree says, I'm not going to give you a fruit and the leaves for animal to eat, then she cannot fana herself in the animal. If animal say, I cannot fana myself for the sake of the human, so which animal sacrifice themselves for the human? The halal animal, the goat, the sheep, the cows. And when we eat them, they fana themselves in us. So how would we fana ourselves to the higher level? We give ourselves up.
Okay.
By saying, not only saying, okay, amali, with action, that I am nothing, I am garib, I am poor, I am nobody. Let go of your carnal soul. मैं खत्म. जब तक मैं हूं तब तक दुई है. जब मैं और तू की दू छोड़ेगा तो एक हो जाएगा. जी.
The reason I asked you this question was because, sorry to say this, my wife passed away and I was crying a lot. And Mukaima said to me, Abdul Wahid, look at her face. She's already in the fanafila. So that's why I asked you a question.
Ji. So I would recommend a lecture if you will share your contact with me or Altaf. there is a lecture, matter of fact, two lectures. First one I need you to listen to is time of death. Maut ke waqt, time of death. Listen to the lecture. It will give you a great understanding of maut. Second lecture is the how and what happens to a person when he reaches to the heaven. If your wife, and my condolences to you and your family, if your wife could talk back to you, if your wife would send a message to you, what would she say to you? I want to share a lecture. If your wife could talk to you, what message she will send to you? If you listen to this, you may cry a lot, but it will give you such a happiness that you will be able to see what she can see, what she feels, and what she's saying to you. I'm so glad that you came on this line and give this Garib and Nachis an opportunity to share some of this with my brother. And if you share your information, I will share both of this lecture with Altaf or share with me directly, and I will send it to you.
Okay. Aziz bhai, you talked about the speed of 100 to 120 to start off with, and you're talking about minimum 60. Do you reduce the speed from 120 to 180 and coming down to 60? Is that what you do?
Okay. So, two school of thought. Okay. The first I was answering to the lady because she probably did not know anything about the speed. Because most of us, when we recite Ismi Azam, we recite like this. Yali, 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 right? Very, very slowly. And because of that, the waswasa, the thoughts, attacks our mind.
Yeah.
So I was answering to her, take her speed to minimum of 60. Because in some of the Ginan, our Pir has talked about the speed of 60 sans. With every breath, one Ismi Azam. But Imam himself has given us another thought. In such a speed that no thought will come into your heart. And again from the Ginan, Har dame bezikar, meaning 120 per second, 120. That's the maximum. That's the first school of thought. There is second school of thought. When a person reaches to that highest level of 120 and succeed, the key word is and succeed, then automatically he or she will notice that her 120 will come down to 100, will come down to 80, and will come down to 60. That's an automatic process.
Okay, that makes sense, yeah.
Gee,
okay.
Now you understand what I'm saying, right? Thank you.
I understand. Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Tomorrow I will upload the folder with today's talk